And we are back. We're back at it again. We're doing it live. We're gonna do a real quick sound test. That sounds good. Really, really good. Running a new program. So I hope you guys don't mind. Ramon Jackson, Run IMC, and Aiden Carter. Good to see all of you guys in the chat. And hopefully we'll have a couple more people jump in here. Got some interesting updates, some interesting news, some things that I want to discuss with you guys. You know that this always goes down. Kalon ATL, Brecken Y. Thank you all for coming into the chat. Look, you know, I always get into this kind of stuff when the season really gets going. And I just take all outside sources, any other media source, just throw it out the window and just concentrate on what's going on. Chris Robbins says, I'm here. I'm playing Batman. Nice. Very nice. But here we are, Combine. People throwing smoke screens. All kinds of stuff going around. You never know what's actually going to happen. You hear some murmurs here. Denver talking about Baker Mayfield. DQ and TD yapping it up. Talking about what they're looking at in different defenders and how they look at players. Ramon Jackson, go eat dinner with your wife. Right now. Happy wife, happy life. That's what's up. Don't you dare. But you see all these murmurs, all these things being said. You don't know who's truly going to get picked. You see some measurables start coming out. You see some offensive linemen and some running backs today getting measured. Tomorrow, I think they have interviews. Lions pressers were wild. Lots of staff. Interesting. Or actually, excuse me, lots of stuff. I misread that. But DQ and Thomas Mitroff, I just got off of DBN maybe about an hour ago. And I said to myself, you know, look, and I was talking to the DBNers. I was like, look, man, we live in a day and age right now where a lot of the Falcons fans are misinformed. And football fans are misinformed. I mean, you know, crazy stuff goes on. I think every single one of you guys can understand that. But when you look into the chat rooms, when you look into the live chats, when you look into the, you know, the things said in Facebook pages and stuff, you wonder if any of these people are paying attention. And I know there are some of us that take this a little more seriously, and we're in on every single conversation. We're in on every single little tiny, minute detail. And that's all fine and dandy. That's cool. But when you you're taking a look at this draft, you're taking a look at what the Falcons fans are saying, then you're taking a look at what TD and DQ are saying in multiple pressers, not just the one that we heard from today, but from the ones that we have heard from for many weeks, that there's some weird misconception of what the Falcons want and what the Falcons are actually talking about. Weird interpretations going on about what the Falcons are actually, what are they saying? There's some weird stuff coming from every single team. J-Dub-Z, what's going on? Rise up. But man, there's some weird stuff coming from every single team. There's teams that are talking about some weird stuff. I was going to try to talk to Voch Lombardi to come on tonight. And that man is working the day job so much. I almost added him on Twitter. I knew he was working. I know he doesn't have time to jump into my streams, but I wanted to throw this out. Don't believe everything you say. Everything that they say, don't believe everything that they say. That's what I'm trying to get past. Is that don't believe everything that they're saying. The Kuipers, the draft analysts. Look, man, I can only say this enough times and it starts to sound old. Don't buy into what they're saying. They're all jokers. It's some crazy stuff. No, Nick, I do not want to draft for the LTD mock draft next Saturday because I should be getting the admins to do an admin mock. I kind of want to do it tonight, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to it. I might have to do it this weekend, where all of the admins are going to get together and we're going to do a mock draft. So there is that. But, if you watch Richard Sherman go out there on Twitter and go, all these analysts are so dumb. Little Bull, David Wright, good to see both of you guys. Hey, Nick, it's cool. But you have all these guys go out there and they're saying all kinds of stuff, trying to be the one that comes up with a crazy idea that, oh, it turns out that one's right. Man, just do your math. We might, Chris. We might. Also, I'm telling y'all, the mixer is getting lit over there on Mixer, mixer.com/GoatyRamsam. And I'm just telling you, man, we're playing some video games over there late at night, talking with you guys about some football stuff. It's a lot of fun. A lot more fun that I be on stream for 2, 3, 4 hours talking to you guys, playing video games, doing speed runs and trying to cash in on achievements and things. It's interesting, dudes. It's interesting. So go check me out there if you can. Takes 2 seconds to create a Mixer account. What's going on, David Wright? Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see everybody in the chat. Man, some weird stuff has been going on. Weird stuff. Notable measurements, by the way. I just want to throw this out. The measurements for the running backs today. I thought it was interesting. I thought it was just a little interesting tidbit that I wanted to throw out. Kellen Balaj, 6'1" and 4/8. Where did they get these measurements from? 228. Very interesting runner. Saquon Barkley, 6 foot even. 233. That might mean that he might not run that 4.3, eh? Maybe even a 4.4. And what am I kidding? The Saquon Barkley guy is going to come after me. Saquon's a very interesting running back. You know what's interesting? Nick Chubb was out there. 5'10 and 7/8. 227 pounds. Wow. Just a little bit shorter than Barkley, but just as big. Interesting how he will run. Darius Geis was the big winner today. 5'10, 4/8, and 224 pounds. And if that man runs anywhere at that, I don't know, 4.4 range. Geis over Chubb. Geis over Chubb. Nyheim Haynes. I've never heard of this kid. Never. I don't know where he's from. I have no idea where this kid is from. 5'8 and 3/4, 198. Soaking wet. Ronald Jones the third, 5'11, 205. Interesting. Kerryon Johnson, 5'11, 213. Interesting. Sony Michel, another Georgia Bulldog, 5'11, 220. They make them big over there, don't they? They keep them big. They keep them linebacker weight. They keep them linebacker weight in Georgia. That's what they want, man. They want that linebacker weight. Just the fringe. Rashad Penny, who is now creeping up my board so fast that I think that he might be a boa constrictor. 5'11", 220. I cannot wait to see how he runs. Cannot wait to see how he runs. Rock Thomas at 5'10", 198. Mark Walton, 5'9", 202. Akram Waldley, 5'9", 194, soaking wet. Yes, and John Kelly was 5'9", 216. Interesting. Ramon Jackson goes, BTW, I love that the live stream is 1 hour long or more. I don't care. I enjoy talking about the Falcons for hours. Keep up the good work, Lieutenant Dan. Look, man, no ill will towards anyone, anywhere that doesn't like my live streams, whether they work for a network, whether they work for the real media or anything like that. If they don't like my live streams being long, deal with it. My film breakdowns are 30 minutes or less. Real Pat Man, what's going on? And my film breakdowns are, 15 minutes or less, and my live streams go for hours. Because I want to talk to everybody. Not everybody can come in all at the same time. Not everybody's hit the notification button. Not everybody can get the alerts that I've gone live. Some people tune in a little bit later because they know that I'm going to be on. Some people immediately tune in so they can get their questions done. My live streams aren't to rattle out a bunch of informative stuff and just treat it like a podcast episode. That's what a podcast episode is for. I don't do podcasting anymore. I do live shows and live events. And I talk to all of you guys. I don't always have my camera on. Sometimes I do have my camera on. And I talk with you guys. That's the whole point of the show, is that it's a live show and you deal with it. Let's go through some running. Let's go through some offensive lineman weights. And I know for some of you this is boring, but I thought it was really interesting to see the weights that everybody's got at right now. Orlando Brown, 6'7 and 7/8, 345 pounds. That's a big one. With an 85 inch wingspan. Damn. Terrell Crosby, one of the guys that I think that the Falcons might take a real hard look at. 6'4", 309, 83-foot wingspan. Or whatever, the inches, feet, I don't know. 35 arm length. Interesting. Everybody's love child, Will Hernandez. Where does he stack up? 6'2", 327 pounds, 77 wingspan, 32 arm length. Interesting. CW. Are you talking about Connor Williams with the 33-inch arms? Yeah, Connor Williams at 33-inch arms. Interesting. I thought it was funny because we're looking at Quentin Nelson and Mike McGlinchey. And both of those guys are pretty big. Nelson at 6'5", 325, 33-inch arms, and an 82-inch wingspan. And Mike McGlinchey, 6'7", 309, 34-inch arm length, 81-inch wingspan. Man, these guys are big. They make them bigger. Everybody's favorite Georgia Bulldog. I know everybody in here wanted to hear about this guy. Isaiah Wynn, going to play guard in the NFL. 6'2", 313, 33 3/8 arm length, 78 7/8 wingspan. A little smaller. In fact, actually, a lot smaller. Smaller than Will Hernandez in two measurables, or well, in one measurable, and a little bit bigger than Will Hernandez in two measurables. And if we want to battle about inches, then I mean he's slightly taller than Will Hernandez, but I'm not going to get into it. Just going to go to sleep for the night. Well, good timing. Win 26 to play guard. Man, I don't want to get into this, Chris. I don't want to get into this. Georgia Bulldog homerism. Isaiah Wynn to Atlanta 26. I'm starting to think that Isaiah Wynn will be gone before then. That's maybe an opinion for another day, huh? You really don't need a guard for the first round. And that's as long as we go into the free agent period. Got a little write-up here with Crosby as a fluid mover with a nasty side on the field. Hitting the 35-inch mark on the arm length is huge. Isaiah Wynn is probably a guard at the NFL level. He does have a smaller end tackle size, though. Nearly 6'3", 313, 6'2", buddy. And he's above the 33-inch arm threshold many teams have for their outside blockers. Any losers? Connor Williams. Connor Williams is a loser. 2016 film is textbook pass blocking mastery. Some questions will arise over his lack of size, now hitting the 300-pound mark, and just 33-inch arms is a bit concerning. For perspective, he's the same height as center Frank Ragnow, but weighs less and has shorter arms. And Billy Price was a loser today. Some teams will value Price at guard, others at center. With 32-inch arms, he's a little on the short side in that regard. Kappa's the biggest loser. I didn't see the Kappa measurements, and maybe somebody can throw those measurements up to me. I just got a little sheet on the side here that I'm just kind of going back and forth on. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, man? But boy, oh boy. Did you guys see that we are at 1860? I believe. 1860 at this point? Yep. And it crept up over the last day or two. We went up a couple of 33, under 33-inch arms, not enough for tackle. Oh, definitely not. Definitely not. But you saw that we are at 1860, creeping up there, getting to that point. It's gonna be by the combine. I think we'll be over 2K by the time the combine comes around. And I've put out a couple more Falcons videos, breakdowns at the most. Then that's when I believe we'll probably go over 2K, because we'll get a couple more from, whether it be the Facebook pages or, over at the Falcons message boards or however. And for those of you that are tuning in from, whatever, channels you're on or Twitters or whatnot, I say this, can't say this enough, that these shows are as long as they have to be and are put out at a particular style because of the way that we don't go in so scripted and so bland. So kind of my talking points today were just kind of to wake you guys up and understand that the busy part of the season's about to start. And by tomorrow or the day after, I should have plenty of news to go on about Falcons visits and who they've talked to and who they're kind of going through. These next 3 days should uncover a video for me about someone they've talked to or someone they've had an interview with or someone that they have higher on their draft boards by the combine visits. So I would not be too surprised if in the next 2 to 3 days, not only do I have some combine video for you guys, but also I have some setup for some film breakdowns. And I'm just kind of letting you guys know that that's where we're going to be very, very soon. This, by the way, being a Falcon-centric channel, I want everyone to understand that sometimes I won't talk about the Falcons. And sometimes I will put up my Mixer videos. I'm going to be doing some work on one of the Mixer videos now, where I had a Yu-Gi-Oh duel with my brother. And that was a neat little experience. He came over and spent the day with me today. But I'm going to be putting up more and more video gaming stuff as just a side thing. If you ever want to check it out, those videos are up for you to grab and chill and listen to me ramble about some stuff. And I usually ramble about some Falcon stuff while I play my video game. So, and you can check me out live when you do that on mixer.com/GoatyRamSam. So that's where I will be over the next week. Next few days, really going to be keeping my ear open, really going to be involved on the Twitter, because I know that these are huge parts of the Falcons process. I will be going through this whole process with y'all. Chris Kahan, thank you for joining the show. Y'all got to go, Taven Bryan. Man, that would be cool. I'd be fine with it. But again, defensive tackle, one of the biggest issues that we have on the team right now, especially since, as we were told by Dan Quinn, he can see Dontari Poe possibly going to go play for another team. And I'm pretty sure with how much money there is and how aggressive teams are going to be this free agency, that one of our priorities will be defensive tackle. So I think Hurst will be a riser, but you have to question, because they like athletic guys, you have to question, is Hurst going to be better than Taven or Vita Vea? And will we jump up to go grab somebody like that in the draft? That's the biggest question I think all of us have to answer going forward. So thank you guys. I really appreciate you being here. I just wanted to kind of update with you, chill for just a little while. Sorry we didn't go over the hour mark tonight. I usually try to get up there, but it is like 11:15 and I got to be up super early, take the wife to a doctor's appointment and go from there. Isn't a little too small. Taven, I think Taven is proper size. I think he's at that 6'3". I think he's 6'3". Man, we'll know. We'll know in just a bit. Because Grady Jarrett's only like 310 or less, like 295 or something silly like that. So, and what is Grady, like 6'1", something like that, and David's like 6'3". But we'll remember, these measurements are going to change at the combine. We'll get an official measurement on who they are and what they are and why they're playing and you know what their size and mobility is like, which is super important for me because Saturday, Sunday, Monday is me going to be crunching the tape and crunching the numbers from these guys and doing a lot of cross-referencing on who and why people look like what they look like and really going out of the box, looking at everybody's take, and then coming back here to do a bunch of shows for you. Muhammad Wilkerson of the Jets just got released this evening. Your thoughts? Last thought before I leave. Mo Wilkerson had issues with being with the team, and then I think it was a broken foot, and then a shoulder and hamstring injury from this past year after he recovered from the broken foot, to me, sets up like this Mo Wilkerson's not worth the money type deal. Because if you're lackluster on the Jets and they're cutting you for not only being constantly late to meetings, not a problem with his attitude or anything, but just constantly late to meetings. Maybe he just didn't want to be there. And then on the other side, what is it? Sheldon Richardson out of Seattle, who was also with the Jets before that. He has off the field issues. I don't look for the Falcons to look in either one of those areas, but if they do sign him, I would be more than happy to do some film sessions on them and kind of figure out who they are and what they can do for Atlanta. I know Mo will be a space eater. I don't know about Sheldon, though. So just kind of go through the phase over this weekend and kind of figure out where we are, who we're looking at, and it can kind of get a little more clear, trying to get a little more clear, see who we're meeting with. Falcons go defensive tackle and then draft a defensive tackle and defensive end in the first would be cool. And going guard during free agency would be smart. And getting Taven Bryan and Payne at 26 would be a good fit. Either are available. Don't like Payne. A lot of the guys that I talk with on Twitter are very low on Payne. I think Payne will be a bigger riser than people expect. I think that Payne and Taven Bryan, Mo Hurst, and there will probably be a guy that we're not talking about right now, like Settle or something, that will jump into the first round, kind of really muddy the waters there. And then a guy like Vita Vea, Taven Bryan, Mo Hurst, or maybe even Harrison Phillips, BJ Hill, Justin Jones, and quite a few others will creep up into the earlier rounds, day 2 type deal. And we could probably get a steal. I think that the Falcons are going to walk away with a very interesting draft class this year. Again, like I've said over and over and over to you guys, the 2018 draft class is the most important draft class for the Atlanta Falcons ever. Like, ever. Ever. During this Dan Quinn tenure, I told you guys, getting rid of the old from the Mike Smith era started in 2015, washed away that stuff, and then bringing in not 1, not 2, but 3 draft classes under Dan Quinn that have been productive, all starting members of the Atlanta Falcons, and have really pushed this team to be a Super Bowl worthy, playoff worthy, division contending worthiness of this team. Those drafts have been like pinnacles, like bricks to build on top. This 2018 draft class is going to be something special and going to be super important, because if we get guys that can start, get guys that can be productive this year, on top of the guys that we already have and been drafting, been bringing into Dan Quinn's service, working for Dan Quinn and growing and working well in the system that Dan Quinn is asking to have them produce in. If we can get that to work again in 2018 and have another dominant draft class, then this is a team that's pretty scary. They could go to the playoffs again. They could go to the playoffs again. And if consistency keeps up on the offense and it gets better, then this team is a top 15 defense and offense in this league. And that is enough to get you into the playoffs and possibly get you a Super Bowl worth. And it would be very interesting to see if the Falcons can win more than 10 games this year. If they can win more than 10 games, I'm pretty sure they will have at least 2 games in the playoffs in Atlanta. At least 2 games. But that's just my take. And cough, Jimmy Graham, cough. No, get out, Jimmy Graham. Don't need you in here. No. Yeah, I mean, the technique's not there, but hey, I wouldn't have any problem with him coming in. I think we need youth at DT spot anyway. Yeah, just continue. Remember, continue to put youth on everything. Facts. So Dan, do you want the Falcons to go DT in the first round? Totally do. But again, if all of the best DTs are taken and we want to take a DT that's supposed to be round 2 or round 3 and we pluck him and take him in round 1 and he fits the criteria what the Falcons are looking for, then I will justify that by saying SARF, system adjusted round fit. We took a guy that was supposed to go in a later round. We took him and pulled him up to here because we knew A, he works exactly for our system. B, we knew we wouldn't be able to get him in a round much later from now. And C, because that player is going to be someone we can grow in our system and we know that's going to work. That's what system adjusted round fit is all about. That's why we got Keanu Neal. That's why we took Grady Jarrett where we took him. That's why we took Deion Jones. That's why we went higher for Duke Riley. That's why we traded up for Takk McKinley. That's why we got Vic Beasley. That's why we've been getting these guys in these places and taking them rounds before they're supposed to go, or watching them fall and immediately running up to the podium, or trading up for guys and grabbing people, or staying pat and taking guys from rounds that they're not supposed to be taken, taking them and pulling them up a couple of rounds. That is what it is all about. So grabbing guys and believing in your coaching staff is more important than anything. D-Pat said it a couple of nights ago. He's saying it again right now. My dudes, chill out, relax, because this coaching staff can train pretty much anybody, but they're always looking for that guy, you know? They're always looking for those guys. And they're not going to draft guys that they know that are going to fail under their tutelage, or they're going to fail them, you know? Like the coaching staff is going to fail the player. They're never going to do that. They're never going to put themselves in that situation. And that is super smart. That is super, super smart. So without further ado, I'm going to head out of here. I hope that you guys have a wonderful night. These next couple of days are going to be super, super important. Hit me up on Twitter at UNGR_show. Make sure you hit the sub button here on the channel. Help us get to 2K. Make sure you hit the notification button on the YouTube channel, the little tiny bell. It goes ding dong, and then you get all the notifications when I go live or when I drop new content. By the way, hit me up on Instagram where I do silly stuff with the wife, do silly little videos, do some music, dance because I'm a white kid, but I try to dance like somebody else. Follow me there, UNGR_show. And if you're feeling generous in your own pockets, you can go to my Patreon and drop $1 in the Patreon, $12 in a whole year, $1 a month, less than a thing of chicken nuggets. Just saying. If you're feeling generous. If you're not, if an ad pops up on my channel and you could watch it or click it, please do. Otherwise, I appreciate you for helping move this channel along and making it awesome. So without further ado, y'all take it easy. And as I say on every one of my shows, like this one, you are listening to nothing but the truth and nothing but the facts. Thanks, guys. Take it easy. Peace. And rise up.